right, let's see if we're live. Let's are we welcome to Friday night. There we are. We are live. Lovely. Up fast. I like it. We are up quickly. Let's see people jump on tonight. Friday night. Here we go. What are you doing on your Friday night? Let's see when people bounce in here. Comments have been taking a long time to start up lately. There we go. Lexington, John, you're the first one on. Welcome. Hi, Alyssa. And Ramsey, hello. Jadon, Ontario, Canada, as always. Greg from the Gold Coast, love it. Protesting today, fantastic. Misty from Pennsylvania. And I saw Quebec and Ryan from Ann Arbor, Michigan. Hello. Hello, Cindy and Connie. Hello, Adrian from Queens. Allie from Alabama. Hello, Celestial from St. Cloud, Florida, down the road. Don from Wisconsin. Beautiful. Kay from Minnesota. Welcome. Michelle from Australia. I love it. Western Australia, Carmel. Fantastic. I feel like we're doing a good job of getting good information and energy out to Australia, who really needs it right now. You guys forget, we are having some issues here in America, but in the general scheme of it, we are still doing much better than places like Australia. So send your positive vibes, prayers, and wishes out to them to be better, to get under control there, because it's crazy, and there's some crazy videos on Twitter too, in Australia. Lockdown in Melbourne, yeah, Lee. I hope the best for all of you. Suzanne, Nova Scotia, welcome. Welcome, Celestial Noble Patriot family. All my Noble Patriots, welcome. Love it. Michael from KC. KC, I've been there before. Once, I think. Let's get rid of these reptilians. I would agree. Australia is a mess. I'm sorry to hear that, Anne. Let's see. St. John's, Florida. Brandy, welcome. Excellent. Hello there. Delilah from Texas, welcome. Greetings from Jersey. Welcome from Jersey. Hello. Deltona. Hello around the corner, Deltona. Jerry from New Orleans. Kelly from Spokane, Washington. Hello. Charmin with a new Facebook name. Hello, Splash Cat. Fantastic. Adelaide, South Australia. Al, welcome. Pennsylvania in the house. Christoforo. Hello, Dean. Howdy. I don't have a Nasera update necessarily. I have some interesting updates from a finance standpoint, but we'll get to that. Hello there. First of all, let me show you something fascinating. Now, I'm going to protect this wonderful woman's name because I don't need people all over her or her having any problems. However, I was sent a picture today that I would love for you to see, because we have lots of noble patriots out there doing really wonderful things. So I'm going to show you this, okay? Let me, zoom in, and there we go. Here we go. Let me show you this noble patriot. Fantastic. She set up her own little station to basically stop child trafficking and to awaken people in her area. This is fantastic. Ken, I'm glad your knee is doing well. Excellent. Look at this. This wonderful woman, wonderful woman. She can out herself. I was going to protect her. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so you can see. How about that? I think I'm going to blow it up. Hold on a second. There we go. Look at this. Beautiful. Look at this. Nice up-close version. And she's wearing her Noble Patriots Save the Children shirt. Tremendous. Look at this. I mean, that is fantastic. Getting the word out. She's got a little speaker there. It looks like she's talking. This is awesome. So really, what up? Ken Walls, my man. Ken Walls, message me. Love you, brother. All right. Look at this. This woman is action. I love it. And by the way, that painting of the bison is quite fantastic. Actually, is that your work? Because if that's what you do, some people probably want to buy some artwork because that's really really nice. But just really wonderful. She's out there promoting, and she's doing her part to stop the travesty in America and the world, honestly. So, really, really well done. Thank you very much. Look at this wonderful woman right here. Noble Patriot, Save the Children shirt. I'm just very, very appreciative of that. So, thank you very much. You are wonderful. What can you do to get out there and wake up humanity? Okay? We need to wake up humanity. That is our job right now. You know, I just put out a post that Abe Books. Now, some people are going to say it's Photoshopped. It's not. So a friend of mine sent that over right before I posted it. And she literally was buying books for her daughters. And she came across that. And there was a book. Now, I don't think the author's involved with this because it looked like it was an offshoot site or page from the author. But the book was going for $99.99 or whatever. Like, do you remember how messed up the Wayfair situation was? This is a massive problem. Now, I also want to take you into how do we fix this stuff? So I did an interview today. Let me show you. So I told a lot of you about it last night. I was interviewed today at 1 o'clock by these wonderful, wonderful folks. Spiritually Raw TV, the ass whipping truth, which I think is a fantastic slogan. And we did an hour today. It was fantastic. It went so quickly. But I want to say, we need to create solutions. You know, they did this. They are a growing channel, right? 13,000 subscribers. They are going out to 13,000 people. Basically, looks like every day to two. I mean, they're pumping out some good material. And I thought, if you need to find something to do, a way to get the information out there, the way we change this planet is we push out more and more and more positive energy. So make a decision on what you want to do to serve humanity. Make a decision on how you want to get that out. So, for example, you may not think your voice is heard, but if you turn on your camera and you just make a nice video about something good about the planet, something good about people, maybe something you did today, even a nice story about your family, your kids, work, whatever it may be, that is energy being pushed out into the universe to propel this movement forward where we take back our country, our countries, and our planets. And so an hour with them today, that's going to go up most likely Monday or Tuesday of next week on their channel. I'll probably put it on mine as well. We went pretty deep on some stuff. We went for an hour. But I realized when you create solutions, you move things forward. The universe loves solutions to problems. Therefore, if you are creating solutions every single day and push that out there, you are making the world a better place, always. So make a decision in your life that also changes the world, but then create a solution for a problem. What is your solution? So these wonderful folks who interviewed me today, their solution is they're putting out a channel, and the channel goes over a lot of different stuff. But it's all positive. I mean, we had a great positive talk today. We went down very, very, I don't even think we went down any negative roads on bad stuff. It was all literally a positive. It was 1 hour of positive information, pushing that out to the world. The woman earlier, I just showed you the picture. I don't know how long she was there, but say she was there a half hour to an hour. That's positive information out to the world, showing people that we need to do something positive to gain our children back. Find something that you can do to push that out there to the universe, and you'll make the world a better place. All right? Anyway, this is Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network, your source for health, freedom, and knowledge. So, interesting things happening in the world today. Very interesting things happening. So, I'm going to get to a couple things tonight. We're not going to go crazy long tonight. It's Friday night, and I haven't had a lot of sleep this week. So, we're going to just go through, and then we're going to get some rest over the weekend. We're going to refresh, recharge to take on, because I think the next 62-ish days away from the election. Gather your energy, recharge your spirit, recharge your soul, recharge your body, because the next 60 days and then after that are going to be chaotic in one way, shape, form, or another. Now, I'm not saying your life is going to be turned upside down. I'm just saying it's going to be a little chaotic. I mean, it's going to happen, all right? And then keep in mind, the news cycle has become insanely long now, right? Every single day, it seems like it's extending the news cycle. September, big month. But then remember, you have all of October, and October in a political season is known as the October surprise. If you don't think the liberal, the hard left, the radicals, the cabal, if they're already doing riots, you think they're not going to throw some other crazy stuff at the president to try to deflect and push him off course? And I think the president most likely probably has at least one trump card up his sleeve and will play an October surprise. And I don't even think it's at this point a political October surprise. I think these are world-changing October surprise. Remember, sitting behind the scenes, we have the blockchain voting technology possibly. We have quantum financial system that is being worked on, or either fully involved or being worked on and being tested in the waters that is on. And by the way, just so you know, for anybody out there who is not sure about the quantum financial system or if it's real, there's an executive order written on it. He gave, I think, $320 million for computers to be used for the system. And then there's several universities behind the scenes that are working on the quantum financial system. This is not a pie in the sky idea. This is happening one way or another. Now, how will America truly be connected to it? We don't know all the details. I'm going to tell you right now, crypto will be some way, shape, or form involved with it. And then we'll see how that goes forward. But hang on to your seats. Now, interesting, all the headlines that sneak their way through. This was actually published 7 hours ago. And now look at this headline. The Fed concedes that Trump was right all along. You're like, what? Now, this had a picture of the Fed chairman at one point. Let me bring that. Sorry about that. Okay. I messed up my screen there. So, sorry. There. I want you to be able to see it. Okay. So, I scrolled this down. Fed Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell admitted last week that the virtual Jackson Hole Symposium that the Fed has undershot its 2% annual inflation target consistently for the last several years. They are tacitly admitting that its deflationary monetary policy has restrained growth and held down wages. Wait a second. He's now saying exactly what President Trump was trying to say, which is what you shouldn't do, is hold this down. So now they're aiming higher. They're coming in with all new plans that are going to be messed up because they're basically just stalling until the next big chess move, okay? This says Powell's 3,000-word address. Whoops, there's Powell. It says Powell's 3,000-word address could have been summarized in just one sentence. President Trump was right. We were wrong. Now, he didn't actually say that, but that's essentially
an untold comeback story has emerged.
So,
of the
we're in Crazyville. That's what we are with all this stuff. Absolutely crazy. The president is basically at this point, if you listen to X22 at all, X22 talks about this all the time. I still have not converted to a person saying that we have flipped over everything to the Treasury, right? I haven't seen anything official that says that. But it's pretty much getting closer and closer where the president is just running the show from a Treasury standpoint and a Fed standpoint. Meaning, you keep bankrupting the Fed, you keep pushing that money out, you can buy it for pennies on the dollar pretty soon. I don't see why that wouldn't occur. Now, I want to go over something else that I've talked about a long time ago, months ago, but I want to clarify it a little bit more, okay? And how this system actually works. And hopefully this system is being broken down, but I'm still going to go over it with you. And that is the birth certificate. So how many out there either heard me many months ago talk about this the first time, or know about the key of the birth certificate and how it plays into your world under the United States of America Corporation? Let me know if you've heard of that, if you've seen it, or you knew about it already, okay? I need to know that because I'm going to dive in a little bit because I think people still don't fully understand how that works. So the United States of America was taken over, right, by the Federal Reserve. Federal Reserve Board runs it. And what they did was they deemed us and you corporations. So, when you're born, you're given a name, okay? My name given to me, I'm not going to tell you my middle name. My name given to me is Jason Dean. Capital J, lowercase a-s-o-n, and then capital D, and then lowercase e-a-n. That is my given name. However, that is not the name that goes on your birth certificate. All right? Yes, this is a straw man theory. The name that goes on your birth certificate is all capital letters because the United States of America of the corporation is also all capital letters. The original United States of America, as created by our founders, was not all capital letters. It was the nation. But when they bankrupted us, they took away common civilian law and they put in maritime law. That means you can't win in the courts. That's just how that works. Hopefully we're going away from this. All right. But your name is all capital letters. Now, it's the weekend. You might have a little time off. I have to clean my office tomorrow, okay? I'm going to be going through some paperwork and some bills, and everything I take out, whether it's a credit card or a check or it's a debit card or any credit card type situation, any of it is all capital letters. Even when you sign a contract. So whether I signed up for a mortgage or I bought my truck, anything like that, when I signed on the dotted line, and I knew this, right? I didn't know it a long time ago. But I actually remember last year sitting down at the dealership, getting ready to sign for my new truck. And I looked at it and I actually joked with the financial guy. I said, you know why my name's all in capital letters right there, right? He's like, no, why? And I kind of like gave him a little red pill. It didn't fully sink in, but I gave it to him. I said, because this is deeming me as a corporation right now. So I am personally, as a human being, not responsible for it because I didn't agree to it. But by law, maritime law, in the courts, I'm unfortunately responsible for it. So as I sign, I am signing as corporate Jason Dean of the corporate United States of America. And your birth certificates and your corporate name are traded around the world all day long as a commodity. Why do you think you're used by the pharmaceutical system? Why do you think they don't cure cancer? Why do you think they like all these disease label names, right? Because you're a commodity. You're worth a lot of money to them sick. You're worth a lot of money to them in debt. You're worth a lot of money to them under financial slavery under the corporation. So when you take out your credit card and you have your little capital letters on there, that's a corporate name. Your social security card is part of the corporation. You do realize, so let me break this to you. And not everyone likes this, especially the baby boomer generation. Social Security and Medicare are giant Ponzi scheme scams. That's what they are. It made you more of a slave. The baby boomers, and trust me, I have family that are baby boomers. I love my baby boomers, right? However, they bought into the slavery even more because the government said, hey, how about this? We're going to give out Social Security so everyone's taken care of when they get older. And then on top of that, we don't want you to be sick long term. We want you to stay healthy. But you know what? Government is better at taking care of your retirement, and they're better at taking care of your health care long term. So why don't you do this? You've worked really, really hard your entire life. And so in response to that, as a reward for you, because the government loves you so much and appreciates your work so much, that we're gonna give you this thing called Social Security so that you're always taken care of. And then we're gonna give you something called Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare for the older people, and then Medicaid for the people that can't get out of poverty and don't have a lot of money to take care of bills. And so they screw over the entire, that's 2 generations they nail there. 2 generations. I mean, more than 2 generations technically with Social Security. Social Security is a complete joke. Medicare is a joke. And by the way, it's actually funny. I'll tell you from a chiropractic standpoint. In my office, I actually don't see chiropractic patients 65 years and older. And I won't. And people are like, that's not very nice. That's a lot of people you can help. You're right. It is a lot of people I can help. Totally correct. However, I refuse to play the Medicare game. And you go, well, no, it's okay. And this is what I always get. I always get people coming in saying, no, I'll pay you. I'll just pay you out of pocket. Doesn't work that way. I wish it did. Everyone should have to pay out of their own pocket for their medical bills or whatever health care they choose. However, if I accept you, I have to register with Medicare. And guess what? I refuse to be tied to governmental agencies who want to tell me how to do something. So unfortunately, yes, there are doctors out there that take Medicare. Won't do it. Not going to happen. I would love to help all those people, but those people are better helped by having a real doctor-patient relationship, not a government doctor-patient relationship. And it's not even it's not even a doctor relationship. It's a government relationship. They tell you exactly what to do and how to do it constantly. So no, and actually, we actually have to tell people from a chiropractic standpoint, like as they're coming up to 65, I'm sorry, but the day you turn 65, I will actually refer you. We have some friends in the area who do take Medicare. They're great practitioners. Go see them. They get all mad at us, and I blame. It's the government's fault. Like, they did it to you. They created this train wreck for you to keep you into slavery. At 65 years old, you could be a multi-billionaire. But according to the rules, at 65 years old, your health care becomes property of the government. Now, you can go other places and pay for cash for certain things. But they want you on the books. They want you taken care of because they want control over the whole situation. So, that's what happened. But Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare are complete scams from the word go. Now, I'm not saying you get rid of them overnight. You can't do that. There's too many people that are involved. It's just like medication. Like so many people out there, and I'm a pretty radical mindset sometimes, but so many people out there are saying, well, you can just get rid of it overnight. You can get rid of medication, get rid of pharma overnight. No, you can't. It doesn't work that way. There are too many people who actually do need Social Security to live right now because they bought into the system. The system is there. There are people that need Medicare and Medicaid right now because the system is there and they're already in it. Unless you're going to give out tons of cash, it's not going to happen. And you need medication. Like there are people legitimately on medication right now. And if you took it all away, there are going to be a lot of people that die unnecessarily. We have to do it over time. It's a transition period. Just like why you can't put in electric cars overnight. There's no infrastructure for it. You have to put it in. It takes time, right? However, I hope they do go away over time. I hope it's transitioned away because at the end of the day, why does someone need Social Security? Okay, well, first of all, you need it because the banking system's screwing you over and they create bubbles and bursts. But second of all, because they took responsibility out of your hands of being fiscally responsible. So, for example, we have conservatives, we have liberals, right? Two basic parties and two basic people's mindsets. Now, there's obviously spin-offs of each, libertarian, constitutionalist, all that different stuff, right? But you have conservative and more liberal, right? That's what happens. Now, liberally, you can have a lot of different social issues liberally. So, for example, if you are saying, okay, there should be gay marriage, okay, that's a liberal social issue. You can have that issue. That's fine. You might be pro-choice. That is a liberal social issue. You don't have to agree with it, but people can carry that mindset or idea. There is one thing that doesn't allow you to have a liberal mindset on, and that is called finance or economics. Because guess what? There's only one way to be with economics and finance, whether it's your home or the government or a country. It's called conservative financial principles. That's it. You can't spend more than you make. Now you can, but at some point you're going to run into a wall and you're going to have to declare bankruptcy. You can only be financially conservative. And it's interesting because all the very successful people in the world are usually the most frugal with their money. Not necessarily cheap, but frugal, as in they make good decisions. They strategize, they budget, they put things together financially. You can't be liberally financial. You can't just give it all away or spend on a credit card. You can't be like our government, okay? So, and by the way, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, by the way, they're all bankrupt. They took that money a long time ago, all right? A long time ago. It's gone, folks. Now what we have to do is we have to decouple from the corporation. I'm hoping in the plans, the president is getting set up to take the banker system down and pull us away so that we can again be ourselves sovereign individuals of our state, which is then part of a nation, because that's actually how it works. You're not owned by the federal government. You're supposed to be a sovereign citizen of your selected state, which is then part of the union of America. That's how it's supposed to work. So, for example, I should be a sovereign citizen of the state of Florida. The state of Florida resides in the United States of America that has a constitution, not of the United States of America, but a constitution for the United States of America. Because remember, they screwed us on the Constitution too, 1871. So go back and check that show out if you haven't seen that. All right. Now, speaking of states, can New York be more of a train wreck than they are? I mean, are they worse than California from a lockdown standpoint? I don't know. I'm not there, obviously. I know California is a train wreck as well. I love all my New York residents and all my California residents, but your states are something special. So, The tale of two states. Now, there's other ones like this. I just don't live in them, so I don't follow their information. But the tale of two states, which just happened to be my two states, because I am a native New Yorker. I'm from New York originally, born and raised in New York and a little bit of Pennsylvania. But New York is my home. Love New York. I'd love to go back someday, but not right now. And Florida, I really love Florida for many, many reasons. I do not like the cold. I personally enjoy that 99% of the year I can get up any given morning and I can walk out my front door with flip-flops, shorts, and a t-shirt on, and I'm going to be okay. And then even if it's cold out, even if we have a cold snap, I can still, even if we drop down to like 20 or 30, which is not often, but it does happen, it's not really that cold. So I can still, in the morning, wake up, put my flip-flops on, shorts and a t-shirt. I can still walk out and still be like rather comfortable. So I love Florida for that. Obviously, I also love no state income tax because taxes suck. Let's be honest with you. I mean, man, and especially for business owners that have really, really, really successful businesses, trust me. Do you know what I could do with the money that my family pays in taxes, both personally and professionally? Like, I could hire so many more people and give them more. So I am a gigantic advocate of the payroll tax going away, and business tax won't go away, but it can be lowered, right? Because that's a whole lot more job opportunities for people, and I would love to hire more people. Trust me, if you're in the state of Florida right now and you are near my office, I am hiring. So come by, find out if you fit, because it's expansion. It's all about growing good quality businesses, good products, good services, providing solutions to Americans and the world. So, New York and Florida. Well, let me show you what New York is doing. New York has decided, amid extended restrictions, that nearly 2/3 of New York restaurants possibly closing. Why are they this insane? I'm not going to read this whole, well, maybe I will. It's pretty short. Actually, it's really short. New York restaurants are taking the hit from Governor Andrew Cuomo's extended coronavirus shutdowns, with almost 2/3 of owners saying they could be out of business by year's end, according to the survey. The survey by New York State Restaurant Association is based on responses from over 1,000 restaurant owners in the state and provides a window into the future of the previously booming industry as the pandemic nears 6 months. Roughly 63% of respondents said they could likely close by the end of the year without some form of financial relief, and 36% said they expect to still be in business in January. Losing 2/3, that's crazy. It's painfully clear that without financial assistance, the restaurant industry in New York State could collapse, said Melissa Fleischert, the NYS, New York State Restaurant Association's president and CEO. These recent survey results illustrate just how dire the financial situation has become for most restaurants, and it shows how critical it is that elected officials understand the urgency of the situation. They need financial support. New York City officials said earlier this week that roughly 1,300 of the city's 25,000 restaurants and bars have shut down amid the pandemic. They are now basically begging the governor. So New York City, New York in general, but New York City specifically probably, could lose 2/3 of their restaurants. That's completely insane over a shutdown. I actually truly believe that Cuomo and de Blasio are going to destroy New York City. And I think that President Trump is literally going to have to go right back and rebuild the city he came from. I think that's kind of how this is going to work. Now, let me show you the polar opposite. Now, I don't have it here, but I'll just tell you about it. So let's look at Florida. Florida's interesting because we never shut down. The governor refused to. Now, a couple counties did some weird things, but everyone is. And then it's interesting because, like, Seminole County, where I work, and even I think Volusia County too, they had some mandates going around. Like, you have to wear a mask. Guess what? Nobody listened. I mean, the week that they mandated the local county mask, I would say well over half the people I saw around were not wearing masks. They just don't, we don't care. Like, we're moving on with our lives, right? On top of that, restaurants were shut down very, very early, but it came back up fast, I think, if I recall correctly. And then they had a little bit of the distancing thing. That went away fast. All restaurants are open in Florida. I mean, we drive by restaurants every day, and they're busy. They're moving. I haven't gone in any of them. There is a restaurant that I have frequented probably about 3, 4, maybe 5 times near the beach that we go to. We go to the beach in the evening. We come home on the way home. We grab food on the go, and it's a nice seafood place and everything else. Every time I go there, the place is packed. It's been packed the entire pandemic. Like, super busy packed. And people waiting outside to get in. The restaurants in Florida are wide open. So why is it that one state won't do it, but then another state is wide open? And then on top of that, the governor has asked for, I don't know if you saw, go to Governor DeSantis' Facebook page, not his public one, but his governor's page. He has asked for all the details of everything the counties were doing submitted by September 15th, because I have a feeling, I don't know for sure, I have a feeling he's going to lift all mandates off of everything and basically just reopen Florida. I have a feeling that's what he's going to do. You know, it's funny. We came home tonight. It's been a very busy week. I did not feel like cooking. My wife did not feel like cooking. And one of our favorite restaurants is down the road. And literally, real quick on the computer, we did a little Uber Eats, and I paid basically the same exact price having it delivered to my house in an hour than I would if I had gone to that same restaurant. And I know that restaurant was packed because the last time we went, it was very busy. And so it's all going according to plan. Now, some people are upset. Like LA, you're upset with DeSantis doing the extended emergency. He's not doing that because he's shutting things down. He's doing that because it still gets federal funding. It keeps it open for federal funding. That's all it is. I think he's gonna clean off the mask mandates, though. That's my opinion. He extended the state of emergency for 60 days. It keeps open the federal funding window, but then I think he's gonna somehow push away the mask mandate. Not guaranteed. I don't know, but I have a feeling that's what he's going to do. That's my opinion on that, okay? Awesome. Now, I'm going to take you into a video that is completely different than this, but I want you to watch it very carefully because this has to do with Hollywood. And is Hollywood coming back? Well, I don't know, but let's see. Watch this video.
What is up, Sean, right now with Hollywood? Can it come back? Can it survive COVID-19?
Can it survive, Ghislaine? Maxwell is the question, actually. I think just talking, you were talking to Lionel, it's an important point to bring up that what Me Too did to Hollywood, don't forget, at the beginning a few years ago with the Weinstein takedown. I still think that there's a lot more that's going to come out here with this Ghislaine trial, because remember who all has been on Jeffrey Epstein Island. I mean, it's more, in terms of the private jets, it's been more than Chris Tucker and Kevin Spacey and the Clintons. And I think you're going to see other Hollywood icons involved in closer than we imagine.
So you're on the record here saying you think other shoes will soon drop if Ghislaine Maxwell spills the beans, and they will be either directors or actors in Hollywood, males, of course.
I don't even think it's about her spilling the beans. I think that there's case and evidence that's being drawn up, in conjunction with the investigation into her. There's a lot more that will be exposed about Epstein Island. I'm 100% positive on that. And the question is who will be involved, what will be implicated, who will talk. Look, I mean, we just haven't seen the end of it. Me Too was the beginning of this. We haven't seen the end of it. And so COVID is a wonderful opportunity for everything to shut down and to restructure. But I think there's a lot of concern in Hollywood across the board, from the exposure on the Epstein thing, pedophilia questions, to, what happens now with movie theaters and, these.
So that was an actual, I don't remember his name. That was a film director who was willing to speak out, which is so isn't it interesting too, by the way, that as soon as Ghislaine went down, or Ghislaine or whatever she's called, she's been behind bars, but isn't it interesting, as soon as she went down, all these kids started being found in places like Georgia, Michigan, I think Ohio. I think there was another couple that were found, another couple children in Ohio today near Cleveland. Isn't it interesting that they're being found after she is brought into custody? Very, very fascinating. Things are definitely moving forward. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. This is going to play out. Yes, that was Sean Stone. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. Now, let's go on to peace. Let's go on to peace in not only the Middle East, but Serbia and Kosovo, which is also very fascinating. Are we creating peace throughout all of the European, Russian, possibly Asian nations and countries? Would that be interesting? Let us take you to the Beast, Richard Grenell. I was a fan before. I'm an even bigger fan now. I have two clips for you. The first one is more fire than the second one. The first one is all fire. The second one is strategic. I love both of them, but I'm going to tell you why I love this clip so much after I let you see it.
And Kosovo, but I wanted to ask you about another initiative you led. Last year, you kicked off the Trump administration push to decriminalize homosexuality.
Yeah, I'm going to just talk about Kosovo and Serbia. I don't know if you can find it on a map, but this is atrocious. I have to tell you guys, you might be too young to understand what this issue is about. Maybe the older journalists should step up and say, this is a big deal. This is a big issue. I'm astounded at what happens in Washington, D.C., and especially in this room. I got to tell you, get substantive. Maybe it's too complicated of an issue for you all.
Respectfully, this is the first time we've had the opportunity to speak with these individuals.
Okay, but today's about Kosovo and Serbia. Let's take a little time and talk about this 21-year issue, Peter. I mean, 21-year issue. We're getting the same questions that are all politics. You guys don't understand what's happening outside of Washington, D.C. People aren't listening to you anymore. It's really a crisis in journalism. And I think it's because people are too young to understand issues like Kosovo and Serbia.
Right,
how about a substantive question?
Please? I don't think any of us came here for a lecture about our questioning.
Okay, well, I didn't come here to not talk about anything about Kosovo and Serbia.
The question I would like to ask you is it accurate to say that it's full economic normalization? There was some ambiguity as to whether that is what the deal is about. And
what do you mean by full?
Well, that's the question for you.
No, it's a question for you. What's your definition of full? This is economic normalization for whatever the two parties could bring together. A whole bunch on rail, a whole bunch on water, a whole bunch on different...
Richard Grenell, you're a genius. So first of all, let me break this down why I love this so much. First of all, they're asses, and they went right after his homosexuality. And so what they did, they baited him. They baited him with homosexuality. And not only did he not go down that road, he told them, this has nothing to do with that, and that's not why I'm here. Like, one of the reasons this guy is so awesome is he has every right in today's culture to talk about his empowerment as a gay man and where he is in the nation and government and how he works with the president. And no one would question him because well done for him. And he keeps his relationship completely out of the public limelight. He doesn't talk about it. He did one commercial for the president and it was appropriate for that commercial. And when it's brought up in situations like this, he says that is the wrong issue. We're not talking about that. This is about business. This is about getting something done. They're trying to bait him into saying something negative or trying to go against the president. And not only that, can you find Kosovo and Serbia on a map? Like total backhand to them, meaning you're not intelligent enough to look at a map and even know where these countries are. Like, boom. And then goes on and says, I don't think you guys know what's going outside of Washington, but they don't listen or watch you guys anymore. Like, total destruction of the press. And this isn't even a guy that's in front of the press anymore. Like, I would love to know who is helping these guys behind the scenes just like destroy the press, because you have Trump, obviously master troller, doesn't take the bait ever. You have Kayleigh McEnany, press secretary, who destroys them every single time, never takes the bait. And then you have Richard Grenell, I believe interim NSA, or I think that's what it is, who not only didn't take the bait, he took the ball that they threw him and then he threw a fastball back at their face. He hit them with their own bait. Genius. And then he talks about the importance of, do you understand what we accomplished? This has been a 21-year bad saga going on over there. And you want to talk about my private life when we should be talking about, clearly you guys are too young to understand what's going on and too stupid to know where it is on a map. So now we need to carry you through, geopolitics 101 and explain to you that this is a massive accomplishment to reignite communication between countries and leaders and governments, so that instead of lobbing missiles back and forth at each other, they might actually communicate and foster peace amongst all these countries. So they want to try to destroy a president and destroy his cabinet instead of talking about substance of the issue, which is we are destroying decades, century-long bad blood between these countries, whether it's Serbia, Kosovo, or Israel, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Iran. Iran will come at some point, but you're talking about biblical long battles amongst some of these nations, and all the president and his negotiators are doing is they're getting on a phone, they're calling, and they're saying, hey, let's talk. I have an idea, or we have an idea. Let's get all this junk, because you know what they're doing? This is how it works. Do you know why all these countries are fighting or have fought? Even the biblical ones, they fought because bankers, money changers, stuck their nose in between two countries. And what they do, it's just like starting a fight. It's like when a husband and wife all of a sudden start arguing for no reason. And then you find out when they actually talk and communicate that they weren't even actually mad at each other. Usually it was someone on the outside who had kind of butted in or told one of them something, or told one of the spouses something. And they put in a little bit of deceit. And then you have two people arguing over something that they shouldn't have been arguing over in the beginning, because the friend, the supposed friend, was putting something in there and got them arguing. And then all of a sudden they argue, and they find out, wait a second, this is stupid. We weren't even talking about the same thing. And they realize, wait, who told us that was happening? And then you spot the person who actually started the battle. So with these nations, think of these nations as partners or spouses. They're not arguing because they hate each other. They're not going to war because they hate each other. What they're doing is they're hating each other and going to war because a banker or someone else stuck their nose in and created the problem. So what are the chances that President Trump is going in there with his negotiators and saying, hey, I don't think you guys really have a problem necessarily. What I think is, you see this family over here, you see that guy named Soros over here, or this guy named Rothschild over here, or the Queen over here, or even higher than that, the top of the pyramid. See those guys over there? Interesting that they were involved when you guys first started arguing back and forth and then throwing bombs at each other. What would happen if we took that other party out of that area? And if they weren't in your ear, would you guys be willing to chat and talk? Oh yeah, well, that'd be great. They've been on our, we owe them money. They came in, they gave us this loan with this really high interest rate. And then we had to make more bombs and buy more of this to and then all of a sudden you start gaining peace by getting rid of the bad friend, the banker. They're not friends. The banker who is trying to destroy two nations or more. That's what's really happening. And I think behind the scenes, they're outing the people who are causing the problem. Now, let me take you into the last clip, which is a little bit more nuts and bolts of what's going on with peace. And this is Richard Grenell again.
Confident are you that leadership in the EU, leadership around the world, is looking at this as a template for success? Or is it going to take a whole generation of new leadership in order to kind of study what you have accomplished here and in the Middle East?
So I really have to own this to say I think we all failed for the last 10 years. I wouldn't just put this on the Europeans. I would say that it's the establishment foreign policy thinking that has failed, both in Europe and here. Berlin, Paris, London, Washington, D.C. We had great support from the French and from the Germans to try this new way of economic development. And let's also be very clear, the Europeans have a lot of economic development that they can do, and they will do. The team is meeting on Monday in Brussels, and so there's a whole new aspect to this. And let me also just say on the question on this item 10, one of the reasons why we were willing to not talk about it here was because it's on the agenda Monday in Europe. And we're trying to team this with the Europeans to say, what can you do, what can we do to kind of move this forward? So on Monday, that issue will be dealt with very much in detail in Brussels. And so I felt confident that we could kind of let and work with the Europeans on this issue. And so that's why it was taken out. But at the end of the day, we need the Europeans. We need them to help on this issue. We will help them, but their calculus on the political side is a little bit different because both Kosovo and Serbia want EU membership. And so they're looking at this very long path of how to get into the EU. We're supportive of our European partners on their process, but we are not making any demands. We're not a member of the EU, so we don't have a seat at that table, but we certainly will help in any way possible. But that is a separate political process, I think, that also complicates it because of the EU membership rules and regulations.
So really brilliantly stated, and I love how he started outing the EU essentially, because the EU is solely a banker designed government. That's why that's why Britain left. Okay, because it's Brexit. They're leaving they're leaving the European Union. The European Union is completely cabalist, deep state, run by the top. That's what it is. You can go look all that stuff up and read that. And so I really, 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 I want to say, I want to believe that that's what the president is doing, is disconnecting these other parties from destroying other countries. But I can't say I hope, because that's literally the science behind it, which is you destroy or you get rid of the other party that was causing the chaos. There's really humanely no reason why a Serbia and Kosovo would hate each other besides religion or money. And the bankers put the money into the whole thing. They started that. But also, guess what? The bankers also changed pieces of religion, which we've gone into before. I'm not going to go into tonight. But that's what's actually happening. And so the only way ever that you bring two parties back together into negotiations is you take away the troublemaker, you remove them from the formula, you gain back communication, and then two countries start to actually see the reasons they are alike or the things that they share, common values, common ethics, common morals, common family dynamics, all this different stuff. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, in a really fast process, they gain friendship instead of being enemies overnight. And I hope that's actually what's occurring. That I believe that is what's occurring in the Middle East and the European nations right now. And you only do that if you get rid of things like the Queen, the bankers, the Pope, the Vatican. If you crumble all that down, it makes life a lot easier. So, I am going to bypass questions tonight, not because I don't love all of you, but I need to eat and get some rest. It's been a busy week, a good week, but I am ready to just relax a little bit because been running like crazy, lots of interviews, more coming. But if you have questions, reach out to me. I will be happy to get with you. It is a weekend of just picking up and cleaning up, so I will be around. If you need anything, let me know. I'll be happy to help. I love all you guys, and as always, go out and serve and help somebody tomorrow, because it's important that we help humanity move forward at all times. Noble Patriots, I love you guys so much. I hope this was valuable to you. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and I will see you back here Sunday night, but I'm working on some stuff. We'll see if something else happens as well. Guys, have a lovely one. This is Dr. Jason Dean, Revolution Network. Be well. Have an amazing